go again.
Last year, between spring and autumn, in a sense, the whole summer, which accumulated to just under 6 months, I spent in Denmark. Most of it in Copenhagen, but also in surrounding areas, or shall I say, kite spots, since I was teaching kitesurfing there. This year, for the whole summer, I am heading towards Germany, also to teach kitesurfing. To be exact, I am going to an island called Amrum, which is at the very northeast coast of this country, and its shorelines opens to the North Sea. You have to actually take a ferry to go between the mainland of Germany and the island itself. There are also a few surrounding islands nearby. I have never been there before, so all in all it should be an adventurous and inspiring experience. By the way, the Amrum Island is nearby the Sylt, and the Sylt, for all the kitesurfers out there and beyond, is where the GKA organization makes the kitesurf world tour competitions. Technically, we can call the Sylt an island, but it is more like a peninsula, since you can get there from the mainland by, for example, car without having to board a ferry. Coming back to the Amrum Island, apparently it is a place where the wind lives, so from a kitesurf point of view, it should be idyllic. I am driving my car there from Poland, which adds up to just under 700 kilometers of road trip. Quick update. We've been 132 kilometers from the place where we get the ferry, and guess what? The car broke down and it's just completely off. So today's Sunday. That happened yesterday on Saturday. We have to wait till Monday, till tomorrow, for the mechanic to look at it. So the car is parked at the mechanic garage, and we just outside the place called Kiel, or Kiel,
Kiel.
Kiel in Germany. So that's, like I said, it's not far from the initial ferry, the place where we catch the ferry to go to the island. And we're gonna explore. So we found this beautiful park, woodlands. Here's the bikes coming. Look at this beautiful scenery. We saw a few what seemed to be wolves of Wall Street type of guys, you know, all suited up on a Sunday, riding. Oh, maybe they're riding for the, Sunday service. Let the adventure to begin. I'm going to live in a tent on a campsite which belongs to the people I'm going to collaborate with in regards to the kitesurf side of things. Last year I was living in my van, which you can check out for yourself by watching one of the playlists on my channel. We have spent 3 nights in Kiel sleeping in the van. Luckily we were there to enjoy the last day of the annual celebrations of the city days, with plenty of street performances, activities and attractions. Our car broke down on Saturday and it went to the garage to wait there till Monday. This is called the water break. On Monday it was looked at with a diagnosis of a faulty EGR valve, which in essence is responsible for emissions of the car. The mechanics could not replace it, so they decided to switch it off, reassuring that the car would be okay to drive. Later that day, we went to collect the car, but as soon as I tried to start it up, the car just would not respond at all. As you can probably imagine at this point, after I heated feedback from myself towards the so-called specialists of the car maintenance industry representing the city of Kiel, and yes, I know there are good ones out there who do their job properly, but for sure those who I dealt with are not the ones, and yes, they advertise themselves to be official and certified. I would not trust them even with a simple engine oil replacement. We decided to leave the place after the so-called specialists jump-started our car and reassured us that we can drive it and the battery would just charge itself while driving. Yeah. Long story short, we have managed to make about 10 kilometers of progress into our journey with 3 stops, yes, 3 stops, due to the shortage of an electronic power of the car causing the major malfunctioning of all of its components, including the automatic gearbox not being able to shift gears. And we have to spend another night in the car on the side of the road just by someone's restaurant in between 2 villages. Alright guys, here's the update in regards to our situation. As you can see, the car is behind me and the situation is not so convenient, let's say, but in any event we are in a beautiful area, so we're very grateful of that. So here's that. I told you last time that we went to the mechanics and the car was there getting fixed, or at least it was supposed to be brought to the point that we are able to drive it without any further issues. So yesterday I got the call that there is the EGR valve. By the way, that's the valve which kind of governs and dictates how much emission is issued by the car, so to speak. The mechanic said that they're gonna lock it. I pay the money, it's just over 100 euros. I go back to the car, about to start it and drive it out to the place where we're supposed to get ferry, and next thing you know, the key in the ignition, turn it to start the car doesn't start, so it acts as if there's no charge in the battery. At this point I go back to them, speak to them, look, you charge me for recharging my battery also, locking that valve, so on so on. You asked me to pay 100 euros, which I did, and look what's happened, it doesn't work now. They brought up like this starter kit, it doesn't start again. They brought another car over, we did like a jump start with the wires. The car did start, but I'm saying to them, look, if I'm gonna drive this car and stop it, it's not gonna turn on, because you can tell how it acts now. They trying to say no, because the battery was flat, so you have to drive it for a little bit to get it charged and all that, and so on. I'm saying, yeah, okay, cool, I understand that. One thing, the battery is new. Second thing, the battery has got indicator if it's charged or not, and it indicates that it's charged. So to me that means something else is taking that power from the battery at the point of start or at the point of running. I was back and forth with them. Then I've got this new people who I'm going to meet in the island of Amrum, where we're going to be based for some time during the summer, and they saying, okay, if you can drive it, if the car is on, take a risk, let's go. Okay, at this point we're driving off from the service station, and what happens is all of a sudden different lights on the dashboards come up. So the battery sign came up. Next minute you've got this red sign coming up on the dashboard saying brake. All of a sudden the car starts to like become very jerky, so the revs going up and down, all the indicators on the dashboard in terms of the speedometer, the revs, the RPM, the temperature of the car, the fuel gauge and all that, everything is just going crazy. It does not want to change the gears. So this is a 4-gear automatic gearbox. It's stuck like on the first gear, so you can only go up to like 30-40 kilometers, and now you've got the symptoms like as if you was driving a manual car on a second gear, on a first gear. You can hear that the car needs the gear to change, but this is again automatic transition, so we cannot change the gear. It's supposed to do it automatically, right? But it doesn't want to. All of a sudden the car does its own thing. When I move the lever from the gearbox, the indicator for what gear you're in is working with the delay, and the whole car is just kind of jerky. I'm not even touching the accelerator, I'm not touching the brakes, and the car is just like like as if I'm kind of like revving it. Okay, now we're just gonna helicopter. What is going on up in here today? Yo. Alright, ride. In any event, we managed to drive for a little bit again because the car kind of stopped this craziness. We drive in another 2-3 kilometers. I can see that the lights, the radio and the lights on the dashboard, they start to like flicker, as if, you know, like if you've got the bulb in the light at home and then you can see that it starts to flick like it's about to burst, to go off. As I'm accelerating, revving the car a little bit, the radio, the light of the radio became like constant, so as if that extra revs helped the power supply. Obviously I didn't want to just sit there and rev in the car for who knows how long and then basically get rid of all my petrol. I just left it, let it do its thing, let it calm itself down, but next thing you know, the car just cut off. Again, I couldn't start it, like battery was dead, but luckily enough we stopped at some sort of like a farm kind of place. So we went to the back of it where the owners lived, and that was this nice, beautiful elderly couple. We asked them to jumpstart us, they did. Now again we're back on the road, we're driving, the same thing happens again. We basically now stopped right at the entrance to the express road, and guess what? We're supposed to join that express road a few kilometers like behind where we are, but the side road which allowed you to slip into that express road was blocked off for some road works. So it's like we need to now join the opposite side of the express road to go to junction, to turn around and come back the right way around, so to speak. But as we are now about to join that express way to go, the car starts to do the same thing again. So quickly we pull over to the side of the road again, and now we're outside this restaurant in between these villages, and we stayed here for the night. We are in contact with those guys who we're going to meet and collaborate with at the island of Amrum, so they're trying to help us out. As it stands for now, our suggestion for them is to come and pick us up, and we're like 123 kilometers from where we're supposed to catch the ferry, 1.5 hours away. Obviously, because we are staying there, we're planning to stay there for a few months. We've got some stuff with us, so we've got like our clothes, some food, camping stuff, our tent, you know, quilts, sleeping bag, decent amount of stuff with us, right? So it's not just a small bag. Yeah, the ultimate goal was to get to that ferry and get to that island, you know, so we can basically like roll off, drive off these few meters off the boat, of the ferry, and then once we're on the island, things become now much easier because we would be right there with the guys who we're supposed to meet, and they've got the mechanic there, so that could be then sorted. And we almost done it. On Saturday, like I said, we were stopped 150 kilometers in the city of Kiel in Germany, and then you know the rest of the story, right? We are so grateful for being able to explore and see the city of Kiel, and we even managed to go on a paddleboard on Saturday, but at this point it's about time to get to this island. This is where we're at, as you saw for yourself, and again, as it stands, we are waiting for some response from the guys and see what they can do, what kind of help they can organize, and I'll give you an update as soon as we know something. There's some kind of little wasp flying around, probably sitting on the lens, which you can also see or saw just now. The very next day we managed to force the garage which we dealt with on the previous day to come with a tow truck free of charge, collect the car and take it to a different nearby mechanic. And hopefully someone who knows what they are doing works there. For now the car will have to stay there and we'll see what's going to happen with it. And leave the place clean as it was when you found it. Later that day, so now this is Tuesday, we continue our journey thanks to one of the owners of the initial campsite who picked us up, and we were officially on our way to enter the island.